With Discipleship, we had an awesome year. We launched our loft. We launched a whole new Sunday school program in which we had a wide variety of classes and new teachers. We had TED Talks in the loft in the mornings, and the room, that small room, was packed really tight. But one of the things we wanted to lift up is your response to our prayer surveys. We took a moment out and we said, you know what, we need to start being more intentional about prayer. And I recall when we sent the first sign-up genius out for the church to pray, to take a time slot, 24 hours of prayer. Would you be willing to pray for this world? There are so many things going on. And one of the things that spoke to us as a committee was that you filled up that sinus genius in a matter of days. So much so that we had to do it again. Then we followed up with a prayer survey. That survey was done. We got almost as close to 100% participation from this congregation. And what that tells us is, though we don't promote it, that we are a praying church. And if you know, we need prayer now more than ever. And we want to thank you for that. The children's ministry had a wonderful year. I could tell you how awesome kids worship is, but one story I'd like to lift up is a story that was shared with our director of children's ministry, Emily Espinoza. You know, we had our virtual VBS, and VBS was very different this year. She recalled a mom that came in and spoke to her and said that she was so thankful that we had done virtual VBS, that we didn't cancel it. And she was glad that we just tried it because her child looked so forward to that. And if you don't know, our VBS, we get a lot of folks who are not members of this church. And even this year, amongst all the difficulty, we still had a full VBS, and it was virtual, and we just wanted to lift that up. The children's ministry is excited moving into the new year. They have built an incredible amount of momentum, and we are just so proud of not only Emily, but all of the volunteers and all the families who bring their kids and support the program. Now, youth ministry, I'd like to lift that up because that has been just somewhat of a challenge. If you don't know, in this world of COVID and social distancing and Zoom, it really kind of goes against everything that they tell you youth ministry is all about. Youth ministry is about connection, being together. And the story I'd like to lift up with youth ministry is simply that they are still a youth ministry. You know, many of our youth now are in school doing class on Zoom. They're doing everything on Zoom. And just the fact that they're still together, that they're still connected to the church and each other through the program, just says an awful lot about the youth program at this church. And importantly, it says something about our youth leadership, our director for youth ministries, Laura Martinez, but also we have some absolute superheroes for adult volunteers. And it is a minor miracle that our youth are still connected and engaged and will continue to be engaged to the ministry of this church. Moving forward next year, there's lots of new ideas. There are lots of things that the group wanted to do, but we feel like it's most important that we continue to stay together. Yes, we are all tired of Zoom, but it's the way we are connected right now, and the youth ministry is really using that and really staying connected to that. So we're just so glad that God is still with us and still bringing the youth to our doorstep and building community. In the next year, many of the things that we wanted to do with Discipleship on the Go, continuing to push the boundaries of how we are the church, not only to each other, but in the world. We're going to continue to push those boundaries next year. We recognize that the world is different, and Discipleship hopes to meet those needs, to meet you where you are and to meet the world where it is. And so we're looking forward to that journey together. So with Play this year, it was kind of interesting because this time last year, we were just thrilled to report that Play was a committee of the church, that we actually have 2 elders on the session who are charged with Play, right? And so this year we had our first few events. Some events took a lot of planning. Some were a little bit less strategically oriented in terms of planning. We just wanted to be together. We had several events. We sang, we played, we did pinwheels and worship. And that's not really what we want to lift up. What we want to lift up was that we want to lift up you, that each of you in some way came to some of our functions. Some of you came to all of them, and you were willing to be vulnerable to see what this Play thing's all about, and you just simply came to play. And we wanted to lift that up because we are so thankful for you, because it's impossible to play by yourself. Moving forward into next year, We're excited to do some of the things, or to revisit some of the things that we were planning on doing this year, such as the community food truck park, just to name one, but stay tuned for more opportunities for play. Look how far we've come, and God's gonna keep bringing us through. Thank you in advance for your generosity.